Hi everyone and welcome to the Korero Solutions YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about why it is so difficult to be in those middle management positions. Alright, so getting into it today, the first reason that we've identified that it's really difficult to be in those middle management positions is that you're stuck between dealing with your team that are usually those customer facing individuals, and then also having to manage that big picture team organization, the goals that come from them. So that mission, vision, values that are coming from the organization. And then you have your team that's dealing with the day-to-day, and sometimes it's really hard to put those two worlds together. So you have all of these ideas and these expectations that are coming down from upper management, and then when you take your team and you're dealing with things on a much more molecular level, so the customer interfaces and the technical issues, it can be quite challenging to merge the two together to make it all smooth. A lot of times the expectations that are coming from the top don't take into account some of those little details that you wind up needing to deal with in the day-to-day operations. So anything from budget, timeline, even manpower and the finances that it takes. Lots of times it's way easier to make decisions about people when you don't have to see them or deal with them on a daily basis. But when you do have to hear the complaints and the issues that are coming up from your direct reports about decisions that have been made that are going to impact them, but they don't really have a say over, it can become quite challenging, and you wind up being the mediator in between the two groups. And this is where you really need to have those skills in order to build those relationships and build the understanding between the two and take concerns from the other and bring them up to the top and vice versa to get everybody on board with each other. So it can be very challenging and quite time consuming. The next thing that we identified as one of the challenges of being in that middle management position is that you have a lot of responsibility, but it's not necessarily the same as your authority level. So the two are typically out of balance. The more people that you have above you, the more ideas there are, the more expectations there are, and the more people can come in and change things up on you. So when you are in those positions and you're trying to make decisions and you're trying to do the right thing and follow the vision and follow the plans, and all of a sudden you get thrown a curveball and now you're having to explain to your team why, yeah, we were going that way, but then a different decision was made and I don't really have the authority to change it or do anything different. So trying to manage those conversations and deal with the fallout of that, because unfortunately a lot of decisions are made and then there's fallout from them the further down that you go in the proverbial organizational chart. So as you get down layer by layer, there's definitely that ripple effect. So when you see that drop is put in the pond and then you see all the waves going out, depending on where you are, that can be a lot of things that all of a sudden become challenging. So that's that second thing that we identified again, is having to deal with not as much authority as you do have responsibility, because at the end of the day, what your people do is going to reflect on you. So you need to be able to align them with that vision and see that those goals are met. All right, if you haven't had a chance to do so, we ask that you like and subscribe to this channel so that you can be up to date with all the other fun tips, tricks, questions that you may have. All right, rolling into number 3, the last reason that we have today that it's very difficult to be a middle manager is that there's often a gap between education and leadership. When you're starting to get into those leadership roles and you're early on in your management career, you usually have more technical skills than you have leadership skills. So although it is absolutely fantastic and fine and encouraged that We're taking these people that are good technically and they've done fantastic in their roles. We then move them up to leadership. But then what? Not all technical people have the management and the leadership skills or even the desire to be in those positions. So if you are a person that is now in one of those leadership or management roles, being able to take on the challenges and get an education and learn about your people and learn what's expected of you from upper management and the individuals that hired you. Oftentimes, leadership is a very steep learning curve. It would be so fantastic if we could walk into a management or leadership role and everything was just handed to us on a silver platter and nobody fought and there was never any disagreements and everybody perfectly aligned to the vision and the values of the company. I don't know a whole lot of people that actually happens to, because people are naturally imperfect. So when that happens and you do have these conflicts that arise and you have these differences of opinions, what your job is going to be is to manage those people. So totally different than the technical stuff that you were most likely dealing with before. And to make matters worse, or at least a lot harder, sometimes they're your friends. So you've been you were doing your job with them and people saw something in you and they promoted you. Hooray, fantastic, you got a promotion, we're all excited for you. And then, oh, you're not performing the way that I need you to. So how do you deal with that? A lot of people aren't given the skills or the tools for, hey, that person that you go and hang out with on the weekends that was your buddy before, now it's performance management time, or hey, a customer filed a complaint against them. How are you going to deal with that? So those are 3 reasons that we have. Watch for upcoming videos about how to deal with some of these situations, and let us know in the comments below, what have you come up against in management that you would say, oh my goodness, it is such a struggle when you're middle management dealing with these issues, or when I started being a manager, here's things that I would struggle with. Again, like, subscribe, and comment below. We'll see you later.